there, I'm your host Hannah and this is the Gaming Report, your number one source for all things gaming news and rumour related. So, in a continuation of things revealed at E3, Project Scarlett's a thing, right? I mean, we already knew that it was a thing, but we actually finally have some concrete details about it. So for those of you Xbox lovers or people wondering whether they should turn to the Microsoft side, Project Scarlett has a compelling argument, to be honest. So Microsoft revealed the video explaining all of this, or at least going into it, but I am just going to do a quick wrap up for you today of what it means to purchase Project Scarlett Xbox, which obviously the name will be determined closer to the launch time because they never just called Project Scarlett. Although one thing I do want to mention is I wonder where they're going to go with the naming of this, because obviously the Xbox 360 was a 360 because it was an all-round experience, right? The Xbox One was the Xbox One because, once again, it was an all-round experience, but you were supposed to just be able to go to one place to play your games, which is true. It did get better with time though, because obviously they came up with Players Anywhere, etc., which definitely had integrated potential and did make the Xbox One feel more like one console that did everything. So what are they going to name the next one? I know that it's so funny when people do concept art, and unless it's a PlayStation, because that is just going up numerically, people call it the Xbox 2 and stuff like that. Highly doubt that they're going to call it that. So what are they going to call it? Xbox Prime? But then that's still back to one. See? World of confusion. But anyway, for now it's just Project Scarlett. So I've got my little list here with awful handwriting and we're just going to quickly go through it. So one of the big things that they talked about in this video was ray tracing. Now, for people who are not computer literate, I am also not particularly computer literate, in layman's terms, this is just kind of like a path of drawing with light, but it's very intensive is the point. It produces amazing graphics, and if you've got a console or chipset powerful enough to deal with it, just amazing results overall. And the gaming experience is in a way vastly improved because everything just looks phenomenal and plays phenomenally. Like I said though, it's very tough. It pushes the chipset very hard. So I'm very intrigued by this as to how it's going to go, because Microsoft are claiming that on the new Xbox, ray tracing will be a thing. So if they can pull it off, it'll look great in terms of what you play. But they are also saying that it's going to come hand in hand with certain refresh rates, which I'm about to get into, and certain resolutions. Consoles, as much as I love them, have always been a step or so behind PC gaming, and at the moment it's still hard to get ray tracing on a 4K screen with one of the newest video cards. The graphics cards that have obviously recently come out are the 20 series, so you've got your 2060, 2070 and your 2080, or also your 2080 Ti, or your Titans as well. Obviously the price range differs between whichever graphics cards you get, but definitely proves for some impressive 4K gaming. The reason I'm bringing this up is because to build a gaming computer like that, it is extremely expensive, and obviously consoles are supposed to be a consumer market. They are supposed to be affordable or within a range of affordability so that lots of people can have them. Obviously the clientele for consoles is much wider than PCs. If you want to build a top of the range gaming rig in terms of PCs, you're going to be running into the thousands, whereas consoles will usually only run you up to about $500 or pounds, because unfortunately currency conversion is not a factor in console purchasing, so they usually match the prices, like $499 and $499. So I'm really intrigued as to how ray tracing is going to play out in this, because like I said, they are promising high frame rates and smooth gaming experiences, which can be difficult on even some of the top of the range graphics cards, the 2070, 2080. The TIs usually fare much better at this, but still, if you've got everything on high and you've got a game that is very demanding, it can still slow it down. It's quite amazing how it works. So like I said, being someone who is not a computer genius, if you are a computer genius, please don't get mad at me. But yes, Microsoft are promising ray tracing, so that will be very interesting to see, and obviously should make it a massive step between the Xbox One X and the new Xbox. So in terms of the frame rates that I was just mentioning, they are also promising the capability with time to go up to 120 frames per second, which is extremely fluid and impressive, especially because we're still, and I know people hate to hear it, but sometimes we still struggle with 60 FPS, so they're promising double this. So if they can pull that off, then it's going to create a very smooth playing experience indeed, and also 8K capabilities. So I find this an interesting concept as well, because obviously 4K has been around for a few years now, but in some cases people are still only just switching over from 1080p to 4K. In terms of like PC gaming, some people are still happy to have a 1080p monitor that runs at a higher frame rate. So it's completely personal opinion on this one, but if you've got this little box of tricks that will also be able to usher into a new world of obviously TV potential in terms of resolution, 8K, then that thing's gonna last you quite a while. I mean, to be honest, a console generation does usually run between 8 and 10 years, and considering that 4K TVs have probably been a thing for about the past 3 or 4 years, obviously you need to be able to future-proof your console. There's no point just focusing on 4K if it looks like 8K is gonna have a boom even in the middle of that console life. Even if it's 4 years in, you don't want people thinking, oh well, this console can't do as much as it used to be able to because my TV is now spectacular. So they're definitely future-proofing it, so that is really impressive. And like I said, if they're really able to pull this off, I keep speaking as if I'm kind of skeptical, and I don't mean to be, because genuinely if they release this and it does all that they say it will, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be fantastic. So I really hope that is the case. But yes, if they're able to pull off 8K and 120 frames per second, you'll probably be at a want for nothing else. It'll be a really good time. So the chipset is being made by AMD. It is reportedly also 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One X, which for those of you which have seen Xbox One X enhanced games, they look pretty as they are, so it's going to be quite amazing to see how this gets pulled off with the new generation. If you watch the video, they do show some clips of Halo that will be coming out in 2020, and it does look graphically impressive. I remember seeing the first ever Halo on the first ever Xbox, and we were absolutely blown away by the effect of the water. My dad had just bought it, so I was only 6. I wasn't even that tall when I was 6, I was down here, and he just kept walking and wading back through the water because he was like, look at the way it moves, the reflections. And now we are obviously like 18 years on from that, so it's quite amazing. So obviously with a chipset 4 times more powerful than the previous installment, obviously the water's gonna look really good in Halo. But yeah, it's genuinely packing some massive potential. It's DDR6 as well. But yeah, basically high-powered machine, mucho poder. There's the Spanish again, shut up Hannah. And then last of all, which we found out, which may not be that important to some people, but to others it may be quite a breaking point, who knows, people's priorities can differ, and that is backwards compatibility. Not only with games though, which is nice, because obviously we all hate it when we buy a game and then we have to either wait for it to be released on the new generation or we just can't play it at all. Possible video about that coming soon. So yeah, you can play Xbox One games on the new Project Scarlett, but also accessories and physical, tangible stuff to do with the console, so such as controllers, because we know that from the Xbox One to the Xbox One X, the controller didn't work with it. It wasn't compatible, but now it will be, so you will be able to use your prior Xbox One merchandise with the new Project Scarlett. So there you go. Makes it easier to transfer over, make the transition, which is always nice because obviously those extras can be quite expensive in themselves, obviously with controllers ranging often from $50/pounds upwards, depending on if you want it to be customizable or not. So there you have it. Those are some of the features that we will be seeing in Project Scarlett that were revealed at E3 over the weekend. As always, let us know in the comments below how you feel about this, what you're excited about. Are you a Microsoft or a Sony fan? That's also a thing, because obviously we don't have a full list of PS5 specifications yet, but we're hoping one will be released soon, and when it is, we will tell you all about it. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for this video. Thank you for joining me as always. Hope that you enjoyed it. Until the next video, don't forget to keep leveling up. Hit that subscribe, like, share, bell notification button, leave us a comment saying how great we are. If you don't think we're great, that's fine, just be nice about it. And until the next time, have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye guys!